Test. What is up, everybody? Happy Sunday morning. Happy daylight savings. Should be dark by about 3:30 today. So we got that to look forward to. I absolutely hate this change. This change, I despise it. I cannot stand it. I cannot. Yeah. Messes with my brain. Bad. Like I cannot. Yeah. It's just kind of a kick in the pants kind of week for me. Not good. Our beloved Nebraska Cornhuskers fall to the PJ Fleck-led Minnesota Gophers, 20-13. I think I've told everybody on this show I don't mind. I've really got no problem if you go out and you get beat and you're more talented and you just lose to a more talented team. When the adults start to influence the outcome of the game is when I have problems. Everything that we kind of been hoping for and wanted to see in a Nebraska team was actually happening. Like we had a running game, the guys, Grant, who I think is in the top 2 or 3 of players that are at dear old Nebraska U, was in it. I mean, we had, I think he had damn near 100 in the first quarter. And then, old crotchety guy, old pissy guy is cute when it's going well. Old crotchety guy, old pissy guy when it's going bad is just an asshole. I mean, there's no, yeah, it's just whatever, man. Offensive coordinators just piss me off to no end. To no end. You have everything going the way you need it to go. Okay? You are up 10-0. Stadium's hype. Players are hype. You should be hype, but you can't be because you're an offensive coordinator. Because you got to show your brain capacity. Oh, they made adjustments. They added to the box. That play action pass game looked pretty good. Looked real good. Just keep trying that. See how that goes. That was pretty awesome. Nope. We got to show that our quarterback can't read. You may want to dim the light. I don't know. We got one pizza peel behind me. It's really glistening. Actually, I like that filter, so just leave that. I look pretty good there now. We don't want this so dark or so light. Oh, he got it. Nice pick. Yeah, Cam, you just stand there. Yeah, so it's fine. It just pissed me off. I mean, I just can't. I just again, Bill Bush, the defense, special teams, they all deserve better. I mean, they did. They played great. You know, they're again, you're playing and playing and playing, and then we go to 3-and-out Central, and you're just back on the field and you just wear down. I mean, it's well, that is it. You get the full horn view of that. Look at that Cro-Magnon skull right there. I gotta sit like that the whole time. Hello. Um, yeah, the game just pissed me off. I'll be honest. I did though. I did just listen to it, which was fun. Straight radio, DB as Michael Jordan game. Playing a little sick. Playing a little sick in that game. But you can tell me your takeaways. I don't. That game was there to take. And credit to Minnesota. Credit to Minnesota. They just stayed the course. Keep it within 10. Keep it within 10. Keep it within 10. Or maybe rephrase. Keep it within 2 scores. Keep it within 2 scores. Keep it within 2 scores. Nebraska had ample opportunity to put it out of control, out of reach. Where now you get Minnesota to do what they don't want to do and have to be throw the ball guy. Man. It's amazing how quickly that can take over the psyche. It is the problem though too when you hire, you got a mercenary, right, comes in. And I have said in many instances I'll be a mercenary, and this is why it's a problem. Not in that manner, but so you hire Whipple at beginning of the year. Okay. Hey, we're gonna overpay you. You're to come in and wrangle this thing in. You're gonna call the plays. He's gonna be the CEO. This is how it goes. So now you feel you are more powerful than you actually are. You feel you have more power than you really do. But you keep on that power trip and you keep on that thing regardless of who is there. If I know enough about enough, and I'm usually just barely dumb enough to be dangerous, I would bet that Mickey and Markey had a discussion. Probably told each other what they thought of each other. And I'm totally fine if they just redesign roles for the last 3 and he just stands there. Because that was bad. And I know I've got a message out to T Flav. He has called this from the beginning. He was on this. I was benefit of the doubt camp guy at the beginning of it. I'm good with it now. I'm good. Damon. Tommy, you are correct. You were 100% correct in all of that. You are very smart. I am very dumb. All of those things. Man, it just got me stuttering. The adults can't be the reason the kids don't have success. Seems very simple. Seems like it's something that should be there. Seems to me right now something the athletic director, the interim head coach, and the offensive coordinator sit down and have discussed with each other. I know it was only 2 quarters or however long it was, but you saw flashes of what the offensive line should have been all year. They were And Minnesota had the number one rush defense in the conference. They were doing things. It is what it is. God bless it, man. Just it's so that part is frustrating. Okay, winning is hard enough for us right now. I don't need your drama. Whip used to stick up for you. Loyal listener Johnny Johnson, he was texting me last night, or actually during the game, and he said Hickson just buried a guy in the end zone! Exclamation point! He knows Hicks is my guy. And then he says, and now Whips will show us how smart he is by going deep on the next series. Just writing a book, man. It's just it's really now. No one knows how this will shake out. Everybody about lost their mind. Me included. I think it was Tuesday. The worst top secret regents meeting held to determine the fate of Husker football for the next 100 years. It was right there. Had going to be held. Top secret. Nobody knows. Everybody in the state knew. Literally everyone. My mom called me. Nance, God bless you, love her to death. When she's a football source, probably got some stuff going on. She's breaking hot takes. So that got everybody worked up. That got everybody, where they wanted to do. And it just, oh my God. Why can we not just get our shit together? Why can we not just, and this postseason, you're getting a little bit of postseason, Vrzal. We got our shit kicked out in Scottsbluff. Congrats to Scottsbluff. Their coaching staff, their kids, their players, they did fantastic. They were out there. They were ready to punch us in the face, and they just kept punching. So you tip your cap. Evidently, I'm too good at teaching mom football on Monday nights with my Scott moms, which happens. Quite a few. Well, one main one who, I'm good if she goes away, voiced her opinion on her coaching prowess. And so I saw you. I noticed what you did. But yeah, so the shirt today, 1984, from the Orwellian classic. It's amazing how few people know that the book even exists. But it's about a bizarro land, future world. And this is where we are. This is what we're doing. The main reason I wore it is because at no point in time did anybody in that book think that's where it would be. And he was guessing what 1984 would look like. No way in hell I thought in 2022 this would be what Nebraska football looks like. But I got we can get into breakdowns of it. You can get into drive charts. You can get into all of it. What happened? Go ahead and let them rip. I got time. You had a game plan. The game plan was really good. Kids were excited. Linemen were frothed up. They were ready to be in it. And then the big brains happened. Then the big brains happened. Hey, too, in the comments here, just fire them away. We'll get to some questions. How did I miss? Because I don't pay attention to a whole bunch of media. I'll get my information off of podcasts and that kind of thing. Did Dominic Raiola come out and say that Dylan Raiola would be back in the mix if Mickey was the head coach? Somebody in my comments, just let me know that, and we'll get to questions and all that stuff. Mortimer's tired of being on the gerbil wheel, doesn't it? I'm a Husker fan until the day I die, but I'm spent next season. Can't get here soon enough. How about them Islanders, baby? Hope your Miller South kids over there are doing all right. Yeah, the Miller South kids owe me money. So, tried to warn you. No, I didn't. I tried to bait them all into it. I was like, you're not going to support your school? Jeez. Nice team spirit. By the way, I never take the kids that work for me's money. When we bet, we're just betting for fun and bragging rights. But I tell them I'm going to take their money. Walter B. Donnelly the third says Whipple will get shit canned yet. Nah, not to my knowledge. I know that was there was a moment of trepidation in the game before that. Listen, let's just view it like this. Okay. We got an organization right now, the University of Nebraska Lincoln football program, part of the athletic department. You've got till December to just be, you got a couple more months to just be run poorly. Okay. I mean, we're paying 97 coaches who don't coach here. Everybody likes to make that joke. Be thankful you're not Texas A&M because we're paying out a lot of coaches. If they want to fire one, it's going to exceed ours by like 5 times. That's an exaggeration. It's not going to exceed by 5 times, by quite a bit. But just sever whips. Just let him go. Let him go be grouchy somewhere else. Let him go design passing plays somewhere else. I'm good with that. I mean, what's it hurt you? Absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. Yeah. I mean, you're already paying a bunch of people. What's one more? He's a bargain for you. He's only $750. His buyout's probably $3.25. John says this is no one on staff to replace stubborn effort. I would guess you can find someone from Grants or Smothers orbit to call plays. They Becton would probably be the tight end coach. Calling plays for 3 games. I think he's called plays before. Could be wrong. Jamie says, really about to pull the plug on the season. Maybe just cancel the last 3 and move on to the offseason. We're really, really good in the offseason. Jamie, we are. We are undefeated offseason champs. That hype machine that we got in there, they create some expectation. Well, even the psyche of the players, I think it was Bando in the post-game presser, was going through and talking, and then he's like, and next we got, he's like, shit, we got Michigan. So that ain't good. That ain't the mindset. I don't think you have a good chance of it happening. But I don't know if Jim Harbaugh could overlook Nebraska. Not that we can win it, just we can keep it close. I doubt it. But hey, you never know. Wisconsin, Iowa ended. Iowa kicked Purdue and all that fun stuff. So yeah, that's kind of where it's at in the season. I would he'd be gone if I was there, but I ain't there. Johnny says, by the way, how does the liquid alfalfa taste with the Copenhagen? Can't imagine good. It's perfectly fine. I do it every week. Homemade too. I didn't buy it at the Bucks. I got my own cup. Well, I bought one and then I just kept the cup. I'm a recycler. That's what I do. Fremont Fred, stirrer of all pots, says Whipple has squeezed the Charmin and just needs to have some undisclosed health issue that keeps him from coaching the rest of the year. He had one of those for a little bit. You never know, that could fly up. Mike, that's a good one. Mike says not the Van Halen album from 1984. You could really spin this shirt into I think it was 83 though. The year the scoring explosion went up and hung 84 on the Gophers up in Minnesota. I was there. Maybe this is payback for all the times T.O. ran up the score. There's an angle for you. Larry says, man, you're the friggin' Bex. Think you could say better about Whipple. Yeah, man, it's. Oof. Let's talk positive though, okay? So positively, Bill Bush. outside of when I can't say that. Of the games he's coordinated, one was shit. The rest, though, the creativity in what he was doing with the players that he had. You have the back in the day, and it's not even that far, but the Giants used to call it a NASCAR package when they wanted to rush. They would have 3 defensive ends, no defensive linemen, 4 defensive ends, no defensive linemen, just speed guys, run twists, stunts, blitzes, go. It was awesome. Bush had defensive fronts where he had 1 defensive lineman, 3 defensive ends, and it created a problem. Like it was great, and it was aggressive. I talk about it on this show all the time. Your best defenses are gap sound aggressive defenses. Okay, and coaches and talked to my good buddy Ryan Terwilliger on the way out to Scotts Bluff to get my ass kicked about it, and he said, "Where has all the aggression gone?" He said, "Where has it all happened? Where has it all stemmed to?" I said, "Buddy, I don't know." I said, "I suggest it, and we do it more now than we did, but kids want to play defense because it's just attack. When you make defense react, and that's your mindset, hard to play. But love what Bush is doing. That to me could be a travesty of this whole thing. I have no clue about anything, and I'm a little tired, so the cusses are probably a little bit higher than normal today. Like I said, I don't know shit about shit, but is it crazy enough? Okay, we're playing imaginary land. I don't think it's crazy at all. What if Mickey is your head coach? What if he is? My guy William Washington, awesome human being. He put out a stat for all those that are in the got to have an experienced head coach. So Nebraska's last experienced head coaches. Bill Callahan was like 27, 22. Mike Riley was 19 and 19. The guy from Wood River was not. And then Frank Solich did pretty good. Never been a head coach. Bo Pelini did pretty good. Never been a head coach. Ran him out because he was mean. Used mean words. So I don't know if it's got to be that crazy. And I also don't know if you don't have your head coach and your defensive coordinator already there on staff. And, Bush, he gets a little big pay increase. But then you send the fellas out, and let's not kid ourselves. Bush has been around the block. Like, he's coached at places. Between he and Mickey, I think they can find a coordinator. Because what Nebraska needs are stable adults right now. Stable adult figures. Okay? So you got maybe 2 of your 3 stable adult figures you need right there. Now you just go out and find a piece. Offensive coordinator. Young up-and-comer. If you want to get crazy and go look out at Coastal Carolina staff, I think that's great. They do a lot of creative stuff. It's a little kitschy, but you find somebody who can recruit to it and you go get it. Buddy of mine from Kansas, Benjamin Gavin Roots, started at Nebraska, ended up in Kansas, said, "Hey, don't leave our guy alone. Don't come talk to Lance." Okay, deal. We're just going to come take his offensive coordinator. Because that right there, and Roots knows it, Roots ran it. He said, "We're just Nebraska out of the gun." He goes, "And it's great. Establish run, play action pass. Boom, 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 away we go. We know what we are. We don't try to get outside the box unless the shot is absolutely 100% seen in there. Then we'll get outside of the box. If it ain't there, we ain't doing it." Novel concepts. All right. Oh, Mike said, I didn't mean to disrespect. Mike said, "Thanks, I know about the book." No. Quattro. Says notice when Minnesota changed QB, we went dumbfounded. I dumbfounded. I would say maybe more when Minnesota, and it is such a novel concept that you have multiple players that can be prepared to play the same position in one game. I know that's befuddling to some. Um, should have worn my 0 days without sarcasm shirt. What that was they felt with Morgan in, they could they his threat series, like the things that he was a threat to do, what they had game planned, they're like, yeah, you ain't okay. Take 2, 3, 5 yards here. Good job, buddy. When they brought in the other kid, then you saw the little weakness in the defense. They didn't have it quite locked in for him. I'm sure they had prepared for him and said, hey, he comes in, we have to do X, Y, and Z. When you get in that rhythm or that rut, like this guy's just like the last guy. It's not a problem. We got this thing under control. We're about to destroy, and then they didn't. And then adjustments got to get made. Walter B says Nebraska joined the Big Ten Conference in 2011. Their combined turnover margin is minus 65. That's been, that ain't changing. That baby's been that way for quite a while. Thanks all 72 of you thus far for joining us. Got any questions, go ahead and hit them in the comments. This is Husker Hangover on the internet, but I will get to any and everything that I can because we'll look ahead to Michigan. If you want to break that game down, you had a chance to have a breakout game of what you could be for your last 4 games, Minnesota game included. You could have been a team that is run-based play action football. Most explosion we had seen out of our offensive line in a while. Grant, it was just a gem, and whatever they got to do. If you want to buy Pisons, you can have it. It's yours. If you need that for your NIL to stay, I'm in. We'll come up with an AG pizza, and you get a portion of all the sales of it. I don't care. That kid can play, and he should be the crown jewel of your offense. He really should, and he was, and it was awesome. People are texting me like, "This is what I'm talking about. I knew it was in those guys." To which I held back a little bit. Like, did you know it was in those linemen? Because you sure sent me a text last week that said a lot of different words, and some of them weren't nice. And then it all went away. Look at my huge brain. Look at what I can do. Look at what I got. Look what this. Yep, everybody says this kid can't do X, Y, and Z. I'm gonna prove you different. Well, you didn't. You didn't. And then the punt fest happened. And then the tired bodies on defense happened. And I would, if I'm Mickey or Trev or whomever SID, I'm sending his old ass to the podium. And Nebraska media, if you're a kept man, get out of your comfort zone and ask him a question. Hey, why'd you decide to go Air Coryell and chuck it all over the yard when you were gashing? Oh, well, they did this, and this. Here, I'll tell you their next follow-up question. Great. Don't you have a complimentary play action pass for that? It would have been controllable under 15 yards. But your quarterback has a higher probability to complete. Then when he gets pissed, just keep digging and get him to attack you, and then they have to fire him. So really, Riders of Nebraska, if you're doing your job and you get attacked by Whipple, you're doing your job like you've done the University of Service. They should have worn a sarcasm shirt. I am killing it today sarcastically. I wanted Whipple to go when Chenander was released. Yeah, I'm with you. I think a lot of people are more in that camp when they had it, but there's a certain phase of stability to it. You've got some guys are like, oh man, they let our head coach go, and now I let our offensive coordinator go and our defense coordinator. I get it. You take the least explosive option and you keep it. Because if it totally flips over, You may run out of bodies. That's not true. You're not going to run out of bodies. There's like 47 assistants and special assistant analytics guys. And yeah, so I'm with you. Canned him right then. It's becoming that way. We should tape Whipple to the wall in Michigan's tunnel. Hey, we're coming up with a lot of great ideas this morning. Not going to lie. This is awesome. Mike says, I think you're right on track with hiring Mickey. I agree with you. An offensive coordinator and players run said coordinator's office. That's going to be. Yeah. How you can take the talent you have now. We've talked about it here before. If Mickey isn't your guy, you're going to have to really make sure your roster management, like somebody's in charge of that and has the pulse of that. Somebody's on point with that. Because if somebody comes to try and scoop Mickey up and take him somewhere else, you have a potential of some of your dudes leaving, like you do. You really do. But making sure that fit is good. Willie Corns, Coastal Carolinas OC. Yeah. Go watch football. You're Nebraska, for Christ's sake. Shell of what you once were. You're building a palatial estate. Jason Kraft, a wrestler from back in my era. You ever notice football players say I was there 92 to 96? Right? Wrestlers there, I was like 92 to 98. Like, what? You can't be there that long. You're not a doctor. But anyway, Crafty was in last night, and he's like, dude, so that's a different world in there. So that they got this built and that built. We toured this, and we got this guy and that. You're a player in the game. You're just asleep at the wheel right now. Now you're getting control of it back, but go out and act like it. Go out and act like it. If you find somebody's offense or the way somebody carries themselves, or they conduct themselves, call them and see what they say. See if there's any interest. Why not? The worst thing they can tell you is no. Best thing they can say is yes, and you cut a big check. You cut a big, big check. Maureen's spot on this. You feel Whipple overlooks Logan because he recruited Chubb or doesn't know how to play call for Logan. If you're having to play call, okay, in your play calling, all right, ideally with your two quarterbacks, you're going to have, let's just say 75% of the plays you can call in your playbook are tailored to both. That's perfect. Because now if one goes out, you have this 75% of your playbook to draw on. They can both run them well. It's perfect. You got 25% that's going to accentuate what Logan Smothers can do. You got 20, if Chubb is in the game, you got his 25%. I mean, we all watch them on the weekend. They have these novels of books. You got all this stuff. You can do it. Whipple is a Chubb fan, without a doubt. There's a story that circulated. I got one source. I'm trying to get two more that will confirm it. If I get it, I will tell it to you. But that's, yeah, I'm in that camp, Maureen. I'm in that camp. You can turn this a lot quicker than people think. Okay. But the pick, and one writer that comes in Pisons that I talked to, and I said, this is how I do it. Because the kids are like, he straight up told me, you can't make this because the kids like him. I said, oh. I said, are the adults going to play? I said, the kids are kind of an important factor in this, there, Chief. I said, this has to factor in. I said, he treats them as men, they act as men. Such a novel concept, I know. Such a novel concept. Did they piss down their leg in the Purdue game? Yeah, sure did. But fought. And you're within 7, and they ran almost twice as many plays as you did. This Minnesota game got you to a point where I don't think anybody thought that was going to be. We were all waiting to get it shoved up our hoop. right? We're like, they're going to just sandpaper finish, no lube, here you go. But we didn't. We came out, we looked like like a football team. It's awesome. Defense flying around, smacking Mo. He had 3 carries, had like 4 yards. I'm like, this is the deal here. This is awesome. Play keep away, score points, and then make them do things they don't want to do. Favorite phrase in football, make them play left-handed. You're on path to do that. You know what I should probably do right now? I should probably highlight this quarterback's ability to throw the ball into coverage and get intercepted. That's what I'm going to do right now. No, it's selfish. Selfish. Maybe you're on your way out and you don't give a shit. Then just go away. Go don't give a shit somewhere else. Maureen says, ladies always go to the top of the leaderboard if I can see you on there. So Maureen says, guys, don't be a weirdo and put a lady's name on there just so you can get your stuff read. 2 of the 3 faces have improved. The offense still looks like Scott Frost. Yeah. Special teams got no issue. I mean, I think on the broadcast, Damon or somebody had said they blocked 3 punts. Probably first time we blocked 3 punts in a long time. The strides they're making with the same talent that was there, you cannot overlook them. You cannot. I have another retired writer that told me, you know, Mickey's got a 5% chance. I'm like, man, I hope you're wrong. I hope everything you're thinking is wrong. But he's smarter than the first writer I was talking to. So, one thing about old guys is they don't want to do it. They don't want to. If Whipple doesn't want to play Smothers, he's not going to. Yeah, old dudes are stubborn. Right here. Yeah, that's a good point. It's probably why I say I like to work for myself. I probably have to work for myself because I'd be fired anywhere else. What happened to that guy that used to sit at that desk and yeah, he's an asshole. Shit canned him. Okay. Dan makes a good one here. This was an interesting one. Dan says Whipple equals Callahan. Got to win because of big brain play calling genius versus knowing your player's strength and playing to that. Buddy, that if we want to, we could just call it Callahanitis. Callahanitis runs rampant through football. Callahanitis runs rampant through football. It really does. Except in Georgia. Georgia's like, oh yeah, you do all this stuff. Okay, watch this. I'm gonna punch in the face. I have 15 of the best offensive linemen over the past 4 recruiting classes. I haven't fed them like 3 days. Like they're gonna hurt you, and it's gonna be fun. But you got to stick to what you want to. You gotta. If you're in it to get your back patted for your great call, you're wrong. Dan, that's beautiful. Callahanitis. Avoid Callahanitis. Maybe that's what I'll put on my RTFB shirts. Avoid Callahanitis. RTFB on the back. Simple. Go ahead and make that if anybody wants to. Hey, my guy in Germany too, and your wife that's going to help me with the design, the graphic design stuff. I'll get with you. I've been lugging about 105 at the business and coaching, attempting to coach. Didn't do very good at that. Doug Mahoney, coaching legend. Malcolm, Nebraska. Are you sure we're using a ball when we practice passing? I mean, we weren't tackling. It's a great question. Just out there air passing it, then air catch it, turn it, lock it up, and run. It's fair. That is fair. Tommy says the best part of yesterday was Clemson losing and Alabama losing. I disagree. I told you, like back in GI, back in the day, they didn't really have fat kid clothes, and I was husky, except Richmond Gordman. They had like a double X sweatshirt came in, man. That was was about me and 5 other men. I was just a kid. We were going in there and fighting for that bad boy. Like we were squaring up like sumo contest because they weren't getting any back in about 2-3 weeks. That Clemson one and Auburn one, and I got them both. So I have been a minor Clemson fan for a while, and then Bo at Auburn, I had every Bo Jackson shoe ever. They were awesome. Yeah, I don't like it I like when Bama wins because everybody gets pissed. Everybody just gets irate, and I love it. It's fantastic. Strung it out, man. Okay, the other things in the game that I can take away from that. I think somebody wrote an article about it. If you want to look at what you can become, okay? This will be a very unpopular opinion. Very unpopular opinion. You can mirror what PJ Fleck has done for Minnesota. You really can. You have to get a leader that handles press conferences in a unified manner. All right? As he handles those in a unified manner with a unified message, his assistants have to say it. He has to say it. There can be no dissension in it. You don't have the luxury for dissension anymore. But you have to, like, you can do what they do. They ain't doing anything fancy. It's a stepping stone. I'm not saying it's your end destination. You can pattern what they've done and you can go on from there. You are not that far away from it. You wrangle a play caller. It doesn't have to be your play caller. You wrangle a play caller, and then you get that. I think we're all in the camp, and we don't get to have moral victories. But if you get in the camp, you can turn this bus quick. Your recruiting class grows. This is the part. Somebody's got to help me with this. Anybody of you recruiting gurus? Somebody's got to help me with this. Nebraska's recruiting class is growing. What are they selling those kids? What are they selling them as who the head coach is going to be? You lost one 5-star defender that I know of. You lost one 5-star defender that I know of in the game, in the class. Class still grows. I cannot figure that out. Just inked up another one. Good player. Like, I actually watched the film. Good player. Breakdown. Okay, so I've had this comment on my. We're trying to get a hold of T. Fraze and Thomas or Tommy. Don't let them know I said Thomas. Tommy to see if they want to come on. They got stuff going on. They got families and whatnot. But my thing right now for Nebraska is this. Your offensive line showed what it can be against a very good defensive line. Okay? Technically, we'll get into it because we bagged on them. We owe them this. In the comments, you can say some nice things about them for the first 2.5 quarters. Then they got pass happy and it got weird, or the first 2.5 series, whatever it was. That's what you can be. Okay, that is real. Like that's fit the skill set of your players, fit the skill set of your back. The explosion out of the stance was better. The control to block was better. Every single thing about it was better. And then it went away, okay? There were mistakes still, but they were aggressive mistakes. I told you guys, always better to go 100 miles an hour and be wrong than go 50 miles an hour and be right, okay? They were going 100 miles an hour, and even if they were wrong, the back would bail them out, and they may have went and hit somebody that they're not supposed to. They may have blocked someone they weren't supposed to. I thought their pin game was great. They were pinned down. They pulled around. Everything, like it was run so well. I was as I was hearing it, I could tell. And I watched the replay later, I could then see it, which, by the way, was super fun. Listen to it in the day, watch it that night. A little painful because you know you're going to lose, but you're like, oh, this is coming up. You could see these things happen. You could see it, the confidence build, joy, exuberance, like all of it was there. It was there to take. It was there to go. It was fantastic. That's what you can be. Now, you're going up against Michigan next week. You better come in as a unified front and coaching staff to do those things. You have to get on the same page. If you have to give your offensive coordinator happy pills, give him some happy pills. Make him conform. Because what we saw early in that game is what we should expect Nebraska to be. And it may be simple. It may get shut down. You know what? But maybe the ball in one of your best players, if not your best player's hand, with the ability to create, may not be perfectly blocked, but it's going to be blocked better than it has been in the past. Gets you 4 yards. Maybe that gets you 4. And then maybe you do it again and it gets you another 4. Crazy enough to work. It is just crazy enough to work. It really is. But that line, for that amount of time, played about as well as they have as a group the entire year against a good defense. It wasn't a defense that was there to, okay, well, we can run on these guys. No, the expectation was not that. Then when I talk about mentality, you watch the passive mentality they got into once the ball started to get chucked around in the air. There's nothing worse a coordinator can do to a player than this. Doing great running it, doing great running it, doing great running it. Next series out. Pass, run, pass, punt. Can't happen. Can't happen. Great point brought up by Fred Fisher. 2 tight end sets. 1 back, no fullback. Whatever number personnel Damon calls that. I don't know those. To me, that's ace. Or too tight. He has some fancy number. 12 maybe. 1 running back, 2 tight ends. I don't know who goes first. I don't know. Okay? But that 2 tight end set. Reason you go into a 2 tight end set is you make the defense balance. Okay? So those that watch football and play football, there'll be a strength to every formation. Right? The defense sometimes will put their strength of their defense on the strength of your offense. That's why you determine a strength. Sometimes defenses will play, well, they do this to run back over here weak, so we're going to put our strength to the weak side. You're in a guessing game. You don't know. Okay? So now if I go balanced inside of the box, okay, that's that 8-yard area, 4 front, 4 back, this is where the men play. This is the men's game. All right? In that box, if I put everybody equal, can't pick strength. Let's balance up. And I think what Nebraska did through film is they found a matchup they liked in there. They said, if we go to this, they're going to align in this defense, and we can take advantage here. I think we can also take advantage here. And they did it. Like, they did it. It was working. It was awesome. Then you get into play action pass game off of that. You don't need to chuck it downfield. Intermediate, move the sticks. Fantastic. Then big brain comes in, and away from it, you have to run. You have to sprint away. You have to go as far from that as possible and not do it. Mickey has to fire Whipple the last 3 games. If not, players may be broken beyond fixing. Yeah. The only way I go the other way on that is I think this set of kids is a smart set of kids. Like, I think I just about watched somebody get smoked outside there. Sorry about that. I think it's a smart set of kids. I think I think they're more mature than we give them credit for. More mature than we think, because I think they know this. Like I again, when the coach from Wood River left, how many of the Nebraska players were out front like, oh man, guy did so much for me, gonna miss him, blah blah blah. It's not a very big number. I didn't see any. Okay. So if they got that figured out and pegged, maybe they know crotchety old guy is probably next. Maybe they know that crotchety old guy, like, hey, you're about to bounce. Like we're done. We're tired of you. Right? Has his pet player, wants to play his favorite. Can't do it. Successful programs, organizations will prepare everybody for everything. You think Tommy got prepared different than Brooke, who got prepared different than Matt Turman, who got prepared different than Mike Christo? No. They all got prepared the same with the expectation you are one injury away from being in there. Like I said, for them, it was probably 85%. 85% plays are the exact same. If Tommy goes out or gets injured, these are the 15 to 20% of different plays we can run with Brooke in. They're going to accentuate him. Well, you know what? They're not that really different, though. We like to roll Tommy out and throw it. We like to roll Brooke out and throw it. Okay, so now we've got that down to like 5%, 10%. Okay, drop back pass. Brooks probably ahead of Tommy a little bit in this. He can pick the defense a little bit better. So this would be the 5%. The body should not matter that goes in the game. It's the expectation of the offensive line, the defensive line, the linebackers, the safeties, corners, everybody. That should not matter who goes in the game. The scheme and the system should be taught top to bottom, and it should be that way through it. When you do that, things become real easy. All right. Do not go to break. I got to take 2 seconds here. I'll never lie to you. I'm battling through some little sickness. And we had one coming. You did not want to hear what just happened there. that was going to be bad. That was going to be terrible internet radio, whatever we're doing. Yes, Florida State Mike, your Knowles did good. Your Knowles did good. Which head coach is more a fraud, Jimbo or Mario Cristobal? Jimbo. Take it off topic a little bit. Mario's going to get that thing going. I'll just tell you, he's going to get that thing in motion. They got thumped. Florida State did win that. Pretty big. Oh, Joe asked, didn't get a listen to the radio. What was Damon's thoughts on the 6 straight 3-and-outs? Okay, so this was awesome. All right. So Damon is on there, and I think you're kind of told you have to toe like a specific line when you're doing that, and so he was asking me questions, and he said this, that, and the other, and I said, dude, just be honest. And it was, if anybody's, and I'm not saying you should do crack, if anybody's ever seen Dave Chappelle skit where he's like, boy, I could really use some more of that crack. He kind of does. Damon is very politely like, man, this would be a great time to, maybe go back to those first half plays, like those ones we were running in the first half that were really going there. They were doing good. If we could just go back to running some of them. And I just laughed. I thought it was funny. I actually thought it was hilarious. Like I was laughing out loud as he was saying it. Because he wants to scream into the microphone, hey, whip, run the plays from the first quarter that were working. You offensive coordinator, you run those. But yeah, he was very, very politely suggesting that they run those plays. This is a question, and I want your guys' honest opinion, which is all I ever ask. That's all I try to do for you guys. By the way, thank you for joining us on Husker Hangover here in the morning, part of the Hurrdat Sports Network. If you want a discount on your Hurrdat, on your Hail Varsity subscription, Hail Varsity subscription, you can put in Husker Hangover when you go to sign up for that, or Hangover when you go to sign up. Get you 10% off. They kick us a little bit back. Cam gets to buy a pack of smokes. I get a can of chew. Call it a day. Did I say too much?
No, it's a sweet deal.
Yeah, it is. We got that. That's the way it goes. Nebraska media ain't got the balls to ask the hard questions that need asked. I don't want to believe this. I think they have the balls too. I really do. I think it just at times some people are hesitant. No, that would be having the balls. Listen, with the way media is going and the ability to be on air anywhere, like literally, we put this thing together. Madison Livingston joins us for work today. First in, beat Will. Congrats, Maddie, you're the Sunday champion. You can't be fearful to ask that question. I think for so long, T.O., Frank hated the press conferences. Slick Willie was trying to sell you a used car. Riley was just trying to get you some anecdote in there about why it was 500. Bo hated all of you, media people. Didn't understand why anybody cared so much. It's just awkward. Will Taylor, number 2 in the building. Will Taylor, the 3rd. I wish they would. I wish a presser, especially if you get Whipple in there, would become uncomfortably awkward. I do. Because I think you could really get some stuff handled then. Like I think you could get you could get things moving in a positive direction. Because you're going to have to make them explain why. Now he's going to be a combination of Frank and Bo in that. He's going to say, because he's got a huge brain and you don't, which isn't really Frank or Bo. But it's going to be intense. Take the intensity. Much as I've said, over the time, there is an opportunity for everyone in the state of Nebraska to redo everything, right? With the football program. You have a shot. If you don't like the way the media covers it and you're a young and up-and-coming media guy, and you ask hard questions like that, make them kick you out. That's always the threat, right? We're the only show in town. You got to do how we do it. Don't ask this. Nah, okay. Kick me out. I'll get somebody in there to just Skype me into your press conference. We got technology. Hey, buddy, I need you to just keep your phone on your knee, sit real close to the front so I can hear what this guy's saying. Because I'm just going to form other questions that I can ask him. Make it uncomfortable for Whipple when he goes in there. I think it's fair. There should be a lot of questions asked. Dan says maybe you should go. Maybe you should go to the press conference. I'd love to see that. John then says, do you have a press credential? No, I do not. No, should not have a press credential. Nope. Nobody wants that. Well, maybe, but no. I'm a person that just likes talking sports with people that like helping me have good conversation, and then bringing up mutual points to disagree on, but then able to have a discussion about it. Things that we can get ironed out. All right, here's your next question of the day. What's your biggest fear now going into Michigan? Okay. What do you fear most as Nebraska gets ready? I believe you guys know I'm terrible at the schedule. I just think Michigan's next. What do you fear most about what's going on? Or going to go on, sorry. What do you fear most about what's going to go on at Michigan? Does Michigan take mercy, and are they just like, okay, we're going to run the hell out of this thing? You guys run the hell out of this thing. We'll just get out of town. That's it. We're going to make this the fastest game in Big Ten history. If you guys could just get some first downs. I don't think I'm tired, I guess, of games that are, I'm tired of games that we're just outclassed and like out talented. Because and I know we've been on 20 years and all that stuff. You're going to see the difference, right? You're going to see what good hire and patience. They want to run Harbaugh out a couple years back. It might have been last year. And then it all kind of clicked. Then it all went the way it should go. I'm in the camp. We got some fears for this game coming in. FSU Mike says that team may quit. Biggest fear. I a little while ago, like before the changeover, I'd 100% with you. Now, no. You're going to be in a fight against a better, bigger opponent. You're going to be able to swing a lot. By the end of that game, you had guys getting run over. They're tired. My fear is 3 and out. That's what I would put mine at. Walter B. Donnelly says Michigan runs for 400 plus yards. Yeah. That, man. Maybe Bush comes up with something. Tough part for me with Michigan is as you look at them, quarterback is a viable running threat. Has to be accounted for, has to be hit. Like you can't assume, hey, he'll be fine. He's not going to hurt us. They got 2 of them. They can do it. They come in, play calls are all very similar. Maybe a couple little wrinkles. Like I said, the 5% is different, but majority of them plays they're running are all the same. Each guy runs each one of them. Dan is on fire today. Tom says, Ted with 2 Ds, says, hope we don't get shut out. Those goose eggs are no bueno now. They are not. And we had 3/4 of them yesterday. Chris says, frustration taking over and losing composure. That one. That could be. Okay. Chris, if that happens, then the control over the program that I view Mickey having is not true. If they don't do that, if they don't get frustrated and lose composure, then what we're seeing of Mickey being able to run that and the young men that play there respecting him, then that'll confirm that. So that's a good one. Dan says my fear is Air Whipple. John says I don't think Nebraska will quit against Michigan, but if Whipple's still calling plays, Nebraska may get beat by 40. I think that was oh man, 40. If they have a phase of 6 straight 3-and-outs, yeah, 6 possessions. 6 possessions, get 3 stops. That's 21. Yeah, that could be. Fear of the boat race is always one there. Larry says Mickey allowing Whipple's big brain to destroy any chance Mickey has of getting the head coaching job. That just sparked the brain there. You just saw every hamster on that wheel start running in the brain there. If I'm Trev and I have weekly meetings with Mickey, okay, and it kind of decompress, like, hey, what happened in the game? What would you do different? Da da da. And if Mickey says, hey, I'd fire that son bitch, that's what I'd do. But I don't know if I have that cachet. Is it enough for Trev to know that he needs that guy like Mickey to acknowledge that guy needs fired? We're not trying to be condescending or anything. But if Trev as the AD says, okay, Mickey as my interim head coach knows that he's got to fire that guy, but he doesn't, currently we'll say have that power to do it. I'm not picking a side in this just in case the search comes up with a different result than Mickey. But I know he acknowledges and he's got the will to just come in and can somebody if they're not doing their job. Can that be a feather in the cap and that conversation has had and already been acknowledged? Like, hey, he's acting like a CEO. He's acting like a boss. He wants this guy gone. He knows it. Interesting. Jamie says, I don't have any fear of the Michigan game. I mean, I'm afraid of the aliens, maybe the World War III, but since I'm just a fan, I have no fear of Michigan. Do you have any concerns, Jamie? The outcome, the way the game happens? Yeah. Matthew, I think it's very fair here. We always love to throw 3 L's in Pelini's name. Matthew just threw 1 in the Whipple last name. PPL, L, capital L-E. Well done. My greatest fear are 3-and-outs and you running out of wings. Dude, that almost happened. I couldn't believe it. We're still an up-and-comer in the wing game. We do all right with them. Got nailed with a couple big orders one day, and this is, if you ever wonder probably why 90% of Pisons operates, it's Nance. Old Nancy Vrzal. She'll get the call from the bullpen quite a bit. But anyway, they had an issue with the truck, and we didn't get our wings, and I was down like 50 of them. We're trying to go into dinner with 50. Got on the horn, called old Nance. Said, hey, you just swing over to Will Call, pick up some wings, see a little bit. The great part about it is it's an easy payment. It's like 2 Miller Lights, and she likes mushroom and cream cheese or vegetables and cream cheese, so very simple. But yeah, that's how we try to avoid that. Oh, that was a good one. Little player talk. Mike asked about Ernest Hausman out of Columbus, Nebraska. How did he look? Initially in the game, struggled a little bit. It was kind of trying to break some old habits. I think they brought him out, talked to him. You go from starter to bench to not really playing at all, to working your way all the way back to starter, and then during the game, like, calm down, sit down. I think the big thing for him is that he's still really learning the position, fairly new to it. The ability for linebackers and safeties and those guys to trust their eyes is hard. We've talked about it briefly on here, but everybody on defense will have a key to read. Right? Outside linebacker will read the end man on a scrimmage. Corner will read his guy depending on what coverage it's in. Sometimes he's got backfield responsibility. Sometimes he doesn't. That first step from that key is all you need. That first step, if it's a down block, he knows he's got to replace. If it's a log block, he knows he's got to fill. And if it's a double team, boom, boom, boom. If it's a pass set, he knows he's got to get to a pass zone. He trusted his eyes a lot more when he went back in the game after they sat him down. Matthews helped me out here with the explanation, but aggression in the play action pass game is just that. There's a reason play action passes work. There's a reason a play action pass was an RPO before it's called an RPO. Play action pass is built to draw you up into the line of scrimmage. Move back that way, Will. There, now you're on camera. No, that's too far. See, now you're on camera. Now you're an internet legend. What's up? That works. Good job. Decentralized leadership. Just make him go and make a decision. He gets all nervous, though. I did it. It's like, beauty of that, what just happened? He can't be wrong. Cannot be wrong in any way, shape, or form. But he did it. When did the inventory picked it out? Away we go. Forgot what I was talking about. I kind of like it when you guys get to live life moments here at Pisons. Welcome people to work. Make decisions on what meats we're going to stock up for the day.
A little peek behind the curtain.
Play action. Okay. So when play action happens, the reason I love play action passes, when you can establish run, you can make your quarterback look phenomenal. Okay. You don't have to go back far. You can go to any phase of football. You can go to any team you want to watch. They're successful when play action works. When you get into 5-step drop, you're saying, okay, I've got some concept that's going to take advantage of your coverage, blah, 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 blah. Or a player that I don't think is very good in coverage that you have. Let me get to my 5-step. Let me get to my 7-step. And I'm going to throw it down the field. If I can run it at you, okay, I'm just smashing it down your throat. Now, your safety, who wants to stay back and be late hit guy? They want to be jump on the pile guy. Look at the tackle. I jumped on the pile and I made. That's what they want to do. Right? But now they got to come up and hit. So their run responsibility isn't as good. Or their pass responsibility, isn't as good. So once you can establish that ability to control line of scrimmage and run, that was the most frustrating thing for me with Whipple on that day. If I'm just controlling this thing everywhere in here, that safety has to come help. When that safety comes and helps, and now I can just slide somebody right where he was. I can slide a tight end. I can take a receiver. I can run the other back out of the backfield. I can get way creative. When you don't have pro-style drop-back quarterbacks like Casey Thompson, play-action pass is their best friend. Because what Casey Thompson sees as open is when the receiver puts his outside foot in the ground and he turns his head inside, and that defensive back might be right here, but Casey Thompson is putting the ball right here, and that 3 yards or that 1.5 yards is open. For Chubba Purdy, it's different. For Logan Smothers, it's different. They have to have a guy in space by himself, nobody within a couple yards, and then I'm going to chuck it to him, and it may land somewhere in the catching radius. Okay. Then you got play action pass, works great. That throw is easy for them. It's simple. How many times on play action pass from whatever football you've watched from whatever point in time in your life As we've all seen, they fake the outside zone concept. That guy bails out over there. Quarterback pulls it back, boosts back the other way, and there's a tight end or a fullback standing over there by themselves. There's no one in the screen. Quarterback just goes. He could do this. He could do this. He could do whatever. But the guy's standing there by himself. Quarterbacks that aren't pro-style quarterbacks, drop back pass, chuck it down the field guy. Play action pass is their best friend. It makes them look like great throwers. Because a ball that travels 5 yards in the air to a wide open receiver, and that wide open receiver runs for 25 yards, guess what they call that reception in the book? A 30-yard reception. I threw it 5 total yards forward. 5 yards. He ran 25. Hey, coach, you see my 30-yard completion? That's what makes it simple for guys that aren't built to be pro-style throwers. You had the ability to have that happen the entire game. The reason I'm on this odd tangent is because Ernest Hausman wanted to get up and be in that action. His play action pass told him, I got to go. I'm getting a run read. I got to go help in run support. Did he lose coverage responsibility? Sometimes, yes. What not enough folks understand is that my chances are my pass responsibility in that play action pass is not far from me. So if I read run and he's under 5 yards and I know I'm wrong because I started at 6 and I get a run read and I'm going to head down the field and I'm about to make this run stop. Oh boy, quarterback pulled it. Where's my tight end? Where's the fullback I'm supposed to have? Guess what? If he's under 5 yards, close him out. Smoke him. You will be the greatest cover person ever. Because under 5 yards, I can contact you. I can hit you hard as I want to. So if I hit him hard on my way that I've now got a play action pass read, that was weird. Got a play action pass read. Now I'm really good at play action pass coverage. So I'm just going to knock the dude out. It all works. That will come with time for him. He's fairly young to it. Immensely talented guy. Really can run. Really can. Has all the physical skills you need. Really does. So, interested to see how he progresses, how he evolves. But there are guys. All right. Calling for half 39 and windy in Ann Arbor on Saturday. Hopefully that force Whipple to run the damn ball. I don't know. Can he be challenged by Mother Nature? Can he say, yeah, I accept your challenge, Mother Nature. I'm about to throw this thing into a 39-mile-an-hour or windy game. I could see it. Anything weird in this game will be to Nebraska's favor. Windy, rainy, whatever. All that stuff will help. Fred Fisher asked, what coaches would you return if you were Joseph and got the gig? Bush is going to stay. Bush is going to stay. I mean, honestly, probably as my defensive coordinator. I'm now Mickey Vrzal. Bush is going to stay. I, as the CEO of this organization, I got to be the closer on recruiting. I got to make sure the organization runs. Any internal drama, and that's even with support staff, nip it in the bud. Start firing them instantly. You got drama in there. If you can't leave your drama outside my door, then you're just a problem. Got to get rid of you. But Bush there, I empower him. Say you keep who you want to. We'll back you up 100%, whomever it is. If you want to keep everybody, keep them. If you don't, don't. Okay? So we're gone. That's how that's going to go. Then I do the same on the offensive side. I can say, hey, I really, just my 2 cents, it's not going to factor in anything. I've still chosen you as my offensive coordinator, love you to death. But, man, I really like the progression this position made over this year that I was the interim head coach. Now I'm the head coach because I'm awesome. So if you want to take that in consideration, great. If you don't, no big deal. But make sure that guy knows we're going to empower you to go get who you want, fits what you want to do. I think that's fair. I'm not gonna, I don't even know, firing line them. Like, keep fire, keep. I empower my two coordinators because I'm fully in the Dabo Sweeney model. Head coach, closer, seller, out front, media guy. But every player on the team respects him. That way I can get everywhere and I can have a touch with everybody. They know I'm in it. You got anything wrong, you don't have to go to liaison, you come to me. Okay? Now I can trickle that thing down. I can build that where each coordinator picks who they want so that they feel comfortable with what each side of the ball that they have and who they've picked. They don't feel they've been forced to do anything. It's been all their choices. And I really like it because then their choices become their ramifications. Okay? Hypothetical example again. Mickey goes, we're into 2023, and hey, Bill, buddy, this phase of the game that you hired this guy at, we ain't very good at it. Okay? Here's how this can go. I brought you, you brought him, you're going to have to take him out. This ain't working. What is option B? Okay? So now I've empowered everybody. You picked him. You can either go with him or you can get rid of him. That, I think, is how a boss would handle it. As far as individual guys, there's a lot that needs to get better. A lot of positions. A lot. 1984, and what are we back in? 1984 is what we are in neck deep. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Oh. Matthew says we need a live stream day to day at Pisons. They want to shoot these TikTok things, and I love TikTok. TikTok is I hours of enjoyment of TikTok. I'm not, contrary to the olds. What the olds believes that it's just people dancing on TikTok. Damon and I talk about it. You can get barbecue recipes and smoker recipes. I told him about these armadillo eggs. He made one. Then he left this like hard ass plastic thing in there to keep it together in mine. So I viewed that as an attempt on my life, which I thought was very fair. He said it was not, that I was being dramatic. I said, you just put a chunk of plastic like yay big in some food you told me to consume. And I bit it and I almost swallowed it, which then I feel would have led to death, which then would have been your fault. Mic'd up. We will probably do mic'd up some night. Like I will get some lavalier mics and I'm going to have to like go through that first though, before we release that to the public, or we're just going to charge people. Like, you want to listen? $50. $50. You can see how it goes. Oh man. No, we do not need that. We do not need that at all. Michigan. Okay. On to Michigan. Big things I would address if I'm Nebraska in this trip to Michigan. Okay. Defensively, I've got to recognize and understand that space is my enemy. Okay. The reason why I say space is my enemy, if you go back and you watch Nebraska play Minnesota, when the defense was going great, okay, everything was tight and every gap accounted for, right? When I mean every gap accounted for, if they had the guys on the move, say a slant or something, for every slant, there's going to be a scrape. Okay. So as they slant, that scrape back or backer most of the time cannot be he can't be wider than a yard from that last guy. Okay. So as that last guy is slanting, I've got a yard space I have to be in there. If I go wider than a yard and they are running anything back that way, we are in trouble because I've now created the gap. What I want to create is a bubble or a bounce. Okay. So as I hand draw this example, we're all slanting to my right. Linebacker scrapes off there. If he meets whomever is there right off the edge of that, off of the rear end of the widest guy, he then makes the play bounce. So now my safeties and everybody can come in. the part that got a little frustrating to me in the game as I watched it, like I said, listened to it first, watched it second, was when we went to make tackles, we were in poor power form. Okay. And this has become a thing where what I call poor power form is my feet and heels are way underneath my hips, almost to the front of me. Like it's the opposite of a power position. Then you kind of get squatted down and you're trying to hit and you get run over. Like you watch the film, guys are getting run over. Okay. It just means you're out of position. You've hesitated for that second. And let's not kid ourselves. Mo Ibrahim from Minnesota's a dude. Like, they gave him the ball 32 times and said, big boy, it's on your back. Go win it for us. Novel concept, lapel, is if you would have just said, hey, Anthony, it's on your back. Here's 37 carries. Go win it for us. You just have a good old-fashioned street fight. Okay? Defensively, we got to get back to some fundamentals. They're not bad, but in the tackling, okay? Can we tackle better? Because we're not going to have the chance to miss. Newsflash, Michigan is going to gash Nebraska for some big plays. Some will call them splash plays. Some will call them chunk plays. Some will call them big plays. Play over 25 yards, bad for the defense, good for the offense. Okay? Nebraska has to shore up all that defensive stuff so those aren't there. Or if it is, there's a difference between a splash, chunk, big play, 25-yard plus play, that it's untouched, okay? Meaning I just take a handoff and I run through it and nobody touches me. Or that's spectacular, okay? Meaning we got this guy boxed up. He goes over, he makes some guys miss over here, he makes some guys miss over here, and we touched him, he broke tackles, he ran through our tackles, that kind of thing, okay? Those are different. I can live with being out-athleted, meaning the freak makes the freak play. The untouched big play problem, a big problem. Because if we haven't touched the guy and he just sprints through the line of scrimmage, we have big issues. If you make them scramble, bust around, and earn it, now you're into something different. So controlling that phase of it, where we're better with our responsibility. We understand that yard doesn't seem like a lot to anybody, but this is the difference. Yeah, we got to be there and we got to be there. It has to happen that way. It can't be if their freak makes a freak play, tip your cap, walk on, go on to the next one. Okay? Going to the next one. Offensively, steal from others. Punting is okay. Okay? After a non-3 and out. You're going to have to take some chances in that game. There's going to be a fourth and mid-range between the, I'm going to say 35 and 50, going down the field. You're going to have to take a chance there. You're going to have to fake something. If you have to punt, and you make sure your team knows this all week. Terry, defense, I'm confident enough in you. If we get into this situation in the second quarter, second half, something, we're taking this shot because I trust you guys to get a stop or hold them to a field goal. If we take this shot and you get a stop or you hold them to a field goal, we win. We don't win. We have succeeded. Okay? Got to do that. Offensively, it's understand the value of 3. 3 1/3, 3 1/3, 3 1/3 is first down. I don't need to know that Chuba Purdy can throw a 42-yard out route. I don't need to know that we have no mid-range throws that are available in any of our passing concepts. I need an established run, and then I need play-action pass to mildly open guys. That's what I need. I think if you stick with those Again, not complex things. This is what Michigan wants to do. This is what this guy is. This is what that guy is. This is what they can do. You did it. You were doing it against Minnesota, and then you stopped calling those things. Let's do it for a full game. Or better yet, if you don't do it for a full game, then you're going to be gone too. We will sever ties with you. We will throw you on to the paid coach that doesn't work here list. Because we got till December to get our shit together. Then we're going to end that stuff. That's not going to happen no more. In my own little pea brain. That's the way that's going to go. Those are the things I would focus on. My third is special teams. You can't be a big play. Okay? If we've got to kick away from people, we'll do it. If we've got to throw a, we got the wind at our back, we got to throw a sky ball up there, make sure they have to fair catch it, let's do it. If we're into the wind and we can kick a low little laser and we can get it to go angle out of bounds in the coffin corner, let's do it. Kickoffs. We don't like the wind. We're going to tumble one down the middle. But you take care of these minute details now during the week, and then all it is execution of those minute details. If we execute, then we're going to be in good shape. Then we're going to be in real good shape. So those would be my points of focus for the week. Very simple, high volume repetition stuff. You may only have 6 running plays that you can want to run. But that 6 plays that you can run, they become really good when you run them, and then your play action pass game. Now, so that 6 run game has 2 play action passes per run. So now I've got 18. And see, now I got compliments to come off that. If coaches of any form, if you've coached anything, let me know. If coaches of any form can eliminate the phrase, let's take a shot here, it is the dumbest statement in the world. It is selfish. It is usually made by receiver coaches because they think they got to get their guy theirs. He can run right past him. Great. We still have to throw it there. You still got to catch it. One third of the equation you think you got under control. Maybe. No word of a lie. This happened to me while I've coached in my career. Guy says, oh, man, they're impressed, man. He's going to run right by him, touchdown. Okay. So the offensive coordinator called it. Standing right by me. I'll never forget it. I'm right on the sideline. Defensive back jammed our receiver right to my feet. I looked at the guy that wanted to take a shot. I said, man, he's doing great. But he's taking a shot right there. Like, look, that kid just hit him again. He took another shot. I think he's all shotted out now. So that should pretty much eliminate it. Can we get back to running this thing? I'm not being run the ball guy. I'm being efficient guy. But that's what I would go in. And if I get anybody that has any dissension in my locker room that doesn't believe that what we're going to do is going to work, we're going to go in and shock the world, I leave them at home. I would have everything bugged. I would bug the offices, lockers, all of it. Because even in the support staff or in the training staff or in the medical staff, any area, like, I don't think we got this. I'd be like, you're fired. You're gone. Back to some commentary on the game that has happened. Brian says many didn't trust Ibrahim in that 4th and short, though. We're just playing. Again, huge brains of offensive coordinators. They should extract them all. Minnesota gave it to the defense at the end of the game. This is from Matthew, the defense to gain confidence, closing out a game. It's a great culture moment by PJ Fleck. It is. They know they had him worn out. And tell you what, though, man, they were fighting their ass off in that. They just mildly got out of position. Just slightly. Or somebody just got a little bit of a kick. They just took them too far out. Mike says Mickey Joseph pizza andouille shrimp Creole sauce during football season. Mike, I like where your head's at. I would probably stay local with that, though. We use our Stoisage, our Frank's meat, sorry. Frank's Stoisage meat sausage. Shrimp. By the way, too, in the off season, so whenever the season ends, if Nebraska doesn't go on a 3-game tear here, finish 6-6 and get to go to a bowl, always got to hold out hope. We will probably start to release some of our pizzas that some of my former teammates have created. I did this thing like 3-ish years ago. Like, hey, you guys design some pizzas. That's just ice going in the ice bin. We're designing some pizzas, and you guys get them all, make a write-up about you, this, that, the other. So the only stipulation, I'm not releasing it until Nebraska's above 500. That was poor marketing. That was very poorly done by me. It's the menus for it's got its own menu. It's called the playbook. The menu for it is in that drawer over there that none of you can see, but I just want to look at. It's so far gone. I'm going to have to change the prices. So I'm going to have to pay to get more done that I've never even used the original ones. That's small business ownership right there, boys. Just get stuff, pay for it, never use it, and then have to redo it. That's how it's done. That's how it's done. Yeah, I teach classes on Tuesdays, whatever. Just got $500-600 sitting in the drawer. It's evidently they're printed with gold on gold paper, on gold sheet. About 20 minutes left here. Oh, there's Caleb. I've seen him all day. Caleb said maybe we should take a page out of Minnesota's playbook and shrink the Michigan game by snapping the ball with 2 seconds left on the play clock so we don't get smoked. All of these things, right? This is one of the many things that I love about football, and I think it's lost now. You can go and out-strategize people, all right? And I'm not just saying in a bob and weave kind of way. When we were humming, okay, and life was good and everything was going, Coach Osborne, the whole coaching staff knew, listen, we got a first team, it's pretty awesome. Our second team's pretty damn good too. Let's just grind people into the ground. So they set a stipulation from the time the clock started. And this was a debate Tommy and I had the other day. I thought it was 35. He said it was 25. Whatever. But our goal is to have the ball snapped with 17 seconds. Okay? So that means you go run the play. It's over. You run your fat ass back to the huddle. You get in the huddle. We'll have another play waiting for you. You're good. 17 seconds, you snap it. He would track it. They tracked everything. But I like what Caleb just brought up. If we go and we brush up all of these things, and we do all this, we have better responsibility assignment on defense. We've mastered these 6-ish plays that we think we can go take to Michigan, and we can get them to work. Then it opens up our 12-play action passes. Now we're good, right? Bleeding the clock down and snapping it with 3, I understand 2. I have some trust issues, okay? I just want that other second, so we just say 3. Snap it with 3 to go. Every series we get it. It's not defeatist. Because I know people will come at me and say, oh, it's going to get defeatist. No, it's smart. You've got me outmanned. All right? Perfect. Good job, Jim. Good job, Michigan guys. You've recruited all these stallions. Good job. We'll limit the amount of plays your stallions can run. See how it goes now against my plow horses. Okay? And maybe, just maybe, you get them back on offense where they're like, hey, we want to do this. See, that first score of the games we're playing on there, that first score is just beautiful. Sidebar. I mean, the defense just in attack mode the whole time. They get a sack with 3-man pressure. Oh, sorry, 4-man pressure. This is just great. There's another sack, 4-man pressure. You can do these things. You can. You really can. Now, Minnie comes back and just starts to wash. Guys are tired, standing up, playing high. Fourth quarter. Play goes lateral, finds a crease and goes. I mean, it's you're not that far off. Like I said, if you can get it where you're not having 6 straight 3-and-outs, you can do. God bless America. All right. So anyway, back to it. So bleed that thing down. I have no problem with that. Know this, so you got to make sure you convey this to your guys. I don't think you can talk enough to your kids. We're going to bleed this thing down in 3 seconds, so we got to get to 3 yards. We got to get to 4 yards. Defenses will get impatient. You may get a free 5. They may jump offside. Like, all those things are possibilities. Caleb, it's a great point. Really good point. I like that. And you don't have anything to lose. Empty the gun. Onside kick. You don't even have to be up 11 to do it. See what I did there? Just do it. Try to catch them off guard. Pooch one. If you're into the wind, kicking off, and the wind is really nasty, pooch one up there. Just let Mother Nature mess with it. Let it float around. Maybe hits the ground. Somebody drops it. You get it. You're not being gimmicky. You're not being weird. You're trying to accentuate everything you can to make the team win. Not a problem in the world there. Can't stand the not getting smoked thing. If you lose by 440 or hell, 400, it's still a loss. It is. It is. I understand. Yeah, do some things that aren't Nebraska. I understand why everybody gets mad at the don't get smoked. Okay? 440, 400 is a loss. It's all a loss. I think more to be in the mindset of, okay, what can we do to shock and awe? Like, what's going to catch us off guard where we then can go in and be like, yeah, we did this. People are tired of the big game embarrassment. They're tired of the 56-10. It's almost like in your portfolio, you just want to put in a limit loss. Hey, I've lost this. Just get me out of it. It's, you go back to the example that always is very glaring to me, and it's kind of a correlation. If you remember way back in the day, Seattle spent a boatload of money on Matt Flynn. Had one game at Green Bay, went off. Said, yeah, we're paying this guy $6 million a year, whatever, $10 million a year it was. Well, Flinny goes out there and starts doing his thing, and they're like, man, we got this weirdo baseball player kid. Listens to Ciara a lot, but, he's on our team. Started at NC State. Hi, Mad Dog. Now he played baseball, and now he's went back to Wisconsin and played football. Pretty good. Let's throw him into some of these preseason games, see how this goes. So he goes, he plays good. Hey, man, Flinny, nice knowing you. We're going to cut you. Because if we cut you, we ain't got paid no more. Gone. We lost money. We made a bad deal. We lost money. But now we're moving on. The reason I bring up this example is that helps me understand the people's mindset. I don't want to get blown out by 40. That's what I've said. My theme for the year was a cover is good. Vegas sets the number. We come up and play to that number. Good enough by me. Right now, I'm willing to deal in that land. Down the road, not going to be able to deal with that land. Jesus. Mike's brother was in the Navy. Dude, don't put this one up there. The ship crashed off a swell and cracked the hull. They were taking on water and used a mattress to plug the breach. Oh, just survived. Jeez. I thought we were getting a live update there. Mike just about gave me a heart attack, my guy. Whew. Okay. So as I read through that, Mike, Navy used a mattress to plug the breach and survive until port. They did what they had to do. Okay. Oof. All right. So what Mike's getting out there about giving me a heart attack, Mike's just saying, do everything. Empty the kitchen sink. Put it all out there. You have nothing to lose. You really don't. If you've got, like I said, your special teams are such a unique way for you to take advantage. You can run fake punch. You can onside, like I said. You can throw one up in the wind and let the wind mess with it. You can have a return that they haven't seen. You can have as much influence on the game and gain confidence in it. I do think of the 2/3 of the team that have made great strides, I'm most impressed with the special teams. Now, if your special teams, when you get in there and you don't have a good special teams day, writing's on the wall. But you got to have them. You got to have them in lockstep with everything. They got to be ready to roll. They got to be ready to roll. There we go. A listener in Nashville. Matt Rule time. Kellyanne asks, geez, by the way, nice job of waking up before the crack of 10. Kellyanne. Best 5 are the 5 that practiced the best that week. Because I think your 5 can vary every day through there. Constant evaluation. You have to. I mean, it just has to. It has to evolve, and it has to be that way. I wish I could tell you, Kellyanne, that I would start Corcoran, Bando. We heard a ton about Lutowski, but I haven't really seen much of it. Hickson, and then the Anthony kid or Williams, but you got guys hurt. Like your best 5, I think some of your best 5 are hurt. John wants me to. John wants me to kick the former guy who's down. Like, no, we're good. Kelly allegedly says she's heard the whole show. Yeah, right. I'll get you out of here in this because it's kind of going back a little forth in the chat. Thank you guys so much for joining us here. Husker Hangover, part of the Hurrdat Sports Network. I do also have 5115 with Tommy Frazier. For those of you that are already listening to that, I apologize. Last week I got sick. Like legit, like missed the day of work sick. So I was out. I slept. Day was that? Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah. I slept. I got up, did a couple things. I got back in bed at 9-ish and woke up at 8:45 that night. So yeah. But got over it. That's where the deeper voice comes from today. The Matt Rule one is bouncing around quite a bit. Ryan in Nashville let us know that. And then Caleb is now saying, Rule, God, no, please. No. I think your list right now, this is mine. Mickey, number 1. And we can get in an argument. I can tell you however you want. Aranda would be 2. Leipold would be 3. Rule, I would put him at 4. Because he's a Big Ten guy, he's got Big Ten ties, and he's coached in college before, and people, like the players seem to like him a bunch. Then Kleiman would be my 5. That'd be my one, the ones that they sat through there right now. The Rule one is very polarizing. Some people are all about it, and I understand it. Some people are like, nope, not him. He's a college coach. He's not a professional coach. but they all got to go see. They all got to go find out if they are. Shawnee says, I just want a coach to understand situational football. End of the first half was telling. When up 10, not moving the ball, they were snapping the ball with 17 seconds left, basically giving it an extra 30. Hey, Rhino, if the lane train is in, I'd be down for that. It's just chaos. Mass chaos. Actually, a gal that I went to high school with, Lindsay, is his niece. So I got inside track. You want me to call him, Ryan? I don't have his number, but I can get it. I can get in contact. No, that'd be cool. I would bring back Monte. Not to coach, just to be an emeritus kind of guy. Yeah, Shawnee is correct. Situational football. I had a million, and I know you hate to say this, but I got 1,000,001 things right now going on. Probably try not to fight each other. And it's to say, hey, man, maybe we slow this thing down a little bit. Up 10-0. You have to. Up 10-0, your only goal in that is what's my most efficient way to get to make every drive beneficial to me, okay? And beneficial to me in that, and this is, again, football stuff. 3 is great. A punt to pin them inside the 10 is even better. But if I get all those things done, man, this one hurts me because it's a slip away game. It was a game. It was a game. If you're not trying to show how sweet your quarterback's arm is and how my concepts can do this, the people on Sunday morning wake up and go, Jesus, Nebraska beat Minnesota, like kind of crammed it to them. It's like 17-7, 20-10. But look at the stat line. This Anthony Grant kid who's just a sleeper, awesome player. He had 200 yards rushing against the formerly number 1 defense in the deal. The adults got to adult. You can't be the reason. You can't. You had the sauce. You had everything ready. It was there to take. You just couldn't leave it alone. You had to be that guy. You just had to be that guy. All those that commented in the deal, after the game, I'd be like, hey, you, grouchy guy, we packed your shit at halftime. Get out. But I'm not. There's a reason why I'm not the AD. You imagine all the people I fired, I get sued on the way out. Like, you call me a grouchy asshole. I'm like, well, you said it in the interview. That's what you are. I thought that's how we were referring to you. You said you packed my shit. I did. It's right there in that trash bag. Get it. Beat it. I think we're just going to call Mickey's if we do this. We're just going to call it the boot. I'm in. The boot. Be sweet. All right. I got to get to work. Do work stuff. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on the interweb. If you want me to get more in depth into the game, I can next time around. Nebraska will play Michigan. We will be back here Sunday. Evidently, I have no friends, so I sent out some messages. I'll send it back out to some linemen. Chris Dishman said he couldn't do it. He was driving. I'll get some of the fellas on next week. I said that this week. It didn't work. I bet I can bribe him with some pizza or something. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for participating. Keep your head up. It's always GBR. He's Cam Broham. I'm Matt Vrzal. This has been Husker Hangover here on the Hurrdat Sports Network. We're out.